Good Sunday morning to you, Roger Hill of Wuthering Heights. This Velco Weather Hazards Heads Up is sponsored by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, and 802 Honda. They're all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. This is our storm system. It's primarily rain, but it's going to be encountering some drier air, and lowering evaporational cooling is going to cause some wet snow to start to form. You're already noticing that in some of the higher central Appalachians, you're starting to see little bits and pieces of some wet snow in some of those areas already associated with this storm. And so it's a kind of a marginal temperature profile, and this is what's going to be working in with its rain shield. This rain shield is going to progress further to the north and east, and we're going to see precipitation begin to pick up a little bit later this morning across the southern counties, Bennington, Windham, eventually Rutland, Windsor, and then continuing into the Champlain Valley and spreading into the Northeast Kingdom, certainly by around mid-afternoon. Now, precipitation will be heaviest and steadiest across southern parts of Vermont, and it's the southern Green Mountains with a very narrow slot of potential geography that may receive some wet snow loading. This associated with colder temperatures progressing and transitioning aloft, and this really taking place not until fairly late in the afternoon to start. It looks like any kind of utility threat is probably going to be most situated by the time we get into, say, the late evening hours tonight, and then overnight into Monday morning. By the time we hit 9, 10, 11 o'clock Monday, we're looking at slightly rising temperatures, and precipitation at that point in time will be much, much lighter. In fact, it looks like the heaviest dose will be probably this evening and continuing into the early morning hours during the early morning hours on Monday. Let's take a look at the antecedent conditions in terms of leaf. You're looking at a visual that was taken yesterday, the fact that we had finally a beautifully clear, sunny day. Lake Champlain, of course, this is the Green Mountains. This is the low range. You can see the various mountains still showing a considerable amount of snow. Also across portions of the Northeast Kingdom, the highlands, typically affected, especially this spring. Looking a little bit further to the south, it looks like there are no leaves out yet. They're probably starting to unfurl in some locations in some of our valleys, but still, we're not seeing a whole lot in the way of green. You can see the spine of the Green Mountains. This is the, looks like the Roxbury Range. This is Killington, Pico, and then the various higher elevations, Mount Snow, and so forth. This is the area that's most likely to be affected, generally east of the Route 7 corridor and the higher southern Green Mountain slopes, and then that carries over a bit into the higher terrain of generally western Windham, western Windsor, a little bit into eastern Addison County as well. But for the most part, it looks like there are no leaves out, and that's good news. Overall picture here, zooming in on New England, this is the couple different model runs. The European, this would be the overnight model run, and this is from yesterday afternoon. So running the computer model, a little bit of light precipitation makes it in. This is valid by around 2 o'clock this afternoon. We're starting to see some inroads here as the precipitation shield begins to push north and encounters colder air, and already we're starting to see some wet snow accumulations in the highest Green Mountains. This is valid at about 5 o'clock this evening. From there, that expands north. This area is most under the gun. You can see that it's mostly just rain continuing. This is by around 10 o'clock in the evening across far northern Vermont. And you can compare notes to the last model run. You see that this is a little bit heavier. We've been seeing these little minor flare-ups and flare-downs. So this is coming down probably not quite moderate, but getting close, maybe 3 to 5/10 of an inch per hour. And it continues. This is valid at about 5 o'clock in the morning on Monday. And then we start to see the precipitation begin to lighten up. And that precipitation, unfortunately, lingers in just about all of the day on Monday and really into the early part of the evening before exiting the Northeast Kingdom. Fairly weak area of low pressure we have here that's just going to move very slowly, but spreading decent, copious amounts of moisture. And you can see here, even valid on Tuesday morning, a little bit of leftover flurries. So Tuesday, the start of Tuesday, looks like it's gone downhill just a little bit, as this weather system is a little bit slower to leave the region. And I want to concentrate on actual snow. So this is the snow that's spreading in. This is valid by 5 o'clock this Sunday evening. And this is the way things spread in here gradually. This is 2 o'clock in the morning overnight tonight. And you can see greater than 6-inch amounts along the spine of the Green Mountains. And then it expands a little bit. starts to pick up, and we're talking about greater than 8 inches in some locations, some of the mountaintops. Of course, this looks a little bit bigger in geography than what you're going to see with higher resolution. And you can see that we're looking at potentially as much as 4 inches, Barre Montpelier, 5 inches being indicated here. I think these numbers are probably more like this, with the European a little bit overdoing it here. It's just a hunch right now. That's the way it's looking right into Monday evening. This is valid at 8 o'clock Monday evening. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.